weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, all you weirdos. Jim here, and it's time for the most anticipated comics of the week show. This is the show where we put away last week's comics, good, bad, the facts of life, and then look forward to what could be a really, really good week coming up on the week of July 10th. There are a ton of books coming out that are pretty exciting. This is at least double the amount of books that I usually have on the show, so I'll try not to dilly-dally, as they say down at the docks. But with all this, if you are playing at home, what we end up doing is going through DC, Marvel, and Indie Comics. I'll give you the title, the creative team, the price, and the solicit. And again, these are my anticipated comics. It doesn't mean that I know all these are great. I haven't read them yet. Some are new number ones that I wouldn't have had a chance to even jump into the series yet. What they are the things that I'm anticipating because they seem cool, but there are some favorites on here as well. But what I would love to have everybody do is in the comments below, give me what you're anticipating. Even if they're the exact ones I am, let me know what you're looking forward to, why, and how. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people with books that I don't mention. That doesn't mean I don't think they're good. It might be that I'm just not reading them. When you end up saying that in the comments, I see it and say, oh my God, I think I will read that. One of the books that actually that happened with was the book Feral, Tony Fleek's book. That's what this show is all about. Looking forward to comics and maybe getting some people into books that they were not aware of or didn't realize were good. So we're going to start with DC Comics as we always do. And we'll start with Action Comics number 1067. I know some people will roll their eyes, but it's written by Gail Simone and Rainbow Rowell. Art by Eddie Barrows and Cian Tormey. It is $4.99. And some people I saw reacting to when Joshua Williamson ended his House of Brainiac story. And then people thought that his kind of deal was canceled. And then Gail Simone was hired. This was planned. This is how they're doing Action Comics. Instead of an anthology type deal, as they had right before this, they end up having it where you'll have a rotating bunch of creative teams, things like that. This is where we had the Jason Aaron Bizarro story. Then, of course, we had the Joshua Williamson House of Brainiac story. Now we end up having Gail Simone and Rainbow Rowell. Superman and the Challenge from the Stars. Sounds like the old TV show where you had the Battle of the Network Stars. Nobody remembers that. Superman fights for two worlds. When a massively powerful alien race makes Earth their arena, Superman must stand alone against impossible challenges that threaten locations all around the world and the lives of those he loves. A not to be missed epic tale of Superman's strength, wit, and resourcefulness in an early stage of his public career. Plus, New York Times best-selling author Rainbow Rowell. I love that they don't mention any comics she does, but that might also be because they were at Marvel mostly. Makes her DC debut and takes on the most powerful woman in Superman's life, Lois Lane. I thought I was going to say Jimmy Olsen, but it did not. I know that a lot of people are down on Gail Simone. I like Gail Simone, but it's kind of like a wait-and-see approach. You know, are we going to get the really good Gail Simone, or are we getting the Twitter Gail Simone? But Rainbow Rowell, not a big fan. Not a big fan at all, but everybody can hit sometime, right? A broken clock can tell you a joke twice a day, I heard. But we're going to move on to the next book, a book that the first issue surprised me. And I'm not saying it surprised me because it was good. It surprised me because I forgot it was coming out, and it just came out. I was like, holy crap, Batman Gotham by Gaslight, the Kryptonian Age. This is issue number 2, written by Andy Diggle, art by Leonardo Fernandez, $4.99. It just started, and I'm butchering names. Upon uncovering a mystery involving ancient relics, Batman must battle against Talia al Ghul in the League of Shadows for control for a dangerous weapon. As court magician John Constantine whispers in the ear of Queen Victoria, and Professor Adam Strange explores the farthest reaches of the Antarctic, the strange rumors they're all chasing about the lost Kryptonian age of mankind begin to take on the Ring of Truth. Get it? The ring. Like the ring that was in the first issue. That solicit seems kind of cool in an adventure type of way. Maybe even a steampunky Indiana Jones combo kind of way, but it seems like it's a little too crazy. Maybe it's a little too wacky. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It could be really, really cool. I did like the first issue. The first issue kind of, I said, it surprised me because it came out. It also surprised me because it was like, I don't really get exactly what we're doing here, but it's really neat. But is it? So I'll be looking at this to see if indeed it's really neat, or is it? But we'll move on to the next book, Green Lantern number 13, written by Jeremy Adams with a backup by Mark Guggenheim, Fernando Passeron on the main art, Matthew Clark. On the backup, it is $4.99. It says that this is indeed an absolute power tie-in. Hal Jordan is the latest casualty of Amanda Waller. Depowered and back on Earth, Hal needs to find a way to get to the new power battery and recharge. But Theros has other plans, doesn't he? And now Hal is being hunted by the most dangerous aliens on the planet. It's almost like that most dangerous game, man. Right? You're hunting it. This is not that. Plus, the secret origin of Lord Premier Theros, ruler of the United Planets, is at last revealed. And that is it for the DC comics. And I do like Jeremy Adams, and I hope that Mark Guggenheim hits with that Lord Premier Theros story. I cannot wait. But yeah, I always trust Jeremy Adams, one of my favorite writers. It will always be on my most anticipated comic show if he is writing something. But we'll move over to Marvel Comics. Don't know if you know this, that Blood Hunt, it's still raging on. It's a bloody good time, they say, and one of my first book that I'm anticipating, Avengers number 16. And, of course, that's written by Jed MacKay, art by C.F. Villa, and it's $3.99. And I'll tell you right now, if you saw my review, it's on the page if you want to go see it, on the Doctor Strange time. That was also Jed MacKay, and I screamed and yelled and said that it was kind of ridiculous. This is the guy running the event. This thing was goofy and really did a MacGuffin-type reset of Doctor Strange's body. Spoiler alert. But I do like this Avengers book. It's one of my favorite tie-ins. It's actually, I'm not even going to say one of my favorite tie-ins. It's one of my favorite Blood Hunt books, because I actually have a lot more fun with this than the main story. So at least I know Jed MacKay can do what he does. And I think he's more suited for stuff that's kind of got a little bit of a sense of humor, a little goofy, have a crazy team going on. I really liked his Black Cat stuff. That's where I think he really shined. I know people love his Moon Knight stuff, but it was the lack of like engaging villain Zodiac and then that Ponzi scheme vampires that got killed by the sprinkler with less water. Nonsense. But here we go. Blood Hunt tie-in. Baron Blood strikes. Captain America must battle a vampire overrun Hydra. Will Cap's ragtag group of heroes be able to handle Baron Blood's army of vampires? And what about rescuing the hordes of civilian prisoners? What about that? Plus, what's next for the Avengers Emergency Response Team? Everybody is waiting for bated breath, and I'm looking, that's R. I thought it was going to spell out something good. R. All right, there you go, R. It's like it might be a pirate team. I'm looking forward to it. I said I was having some fun with it. Anytime you get Cap, you usually get Nazis. This time you get Nazi vampires and their Hydra. I mean, what else could you want? We'll go to the next book. Speaking of what else could you want? Get Fury number 3, written by Garth Ennis, art by Jason Burrows. It is $3.99. It is a book that I really, really enjoy. Issue 2 had that little tiny wonky explanation of how all these things with the put the drugs into the coffins going back, but then it became this weird, like, who's who done it, that twisted and turned and was wacky. If you read it, you know what I'm talking about. But here's the solicit for this issue. The Viet Cong have Nick Fury in the infamous Hanoi Hilton prison. Even a man with Frank Castle's specific skill set, which gets shown off in a brutal fashion this issue, they say, will not be enough to get in, get Fury, and get out. Making matters worse, Castle isn't the only party trying to get Fury. Oh my, but I have liked it. It is over-the-top Max series type deal. It is really vicious. You've had people getting half their face flayed off. You end up having, Nick Fury got his face shoved into a living guy's exposed guts last night. Oh my goodness. It was crazy. But we're going to go to the next book, and I think a lot of people will be looking forward to this. It's Ultimates number 2. Dennis Camp writing, Juan Frigiri on art, and it is a cool $4.99. Shocking secrets of the Ultimate Universe revealed. Captain America reckons with the Maker's dismantling of nations by visiting the White House, leading to a massive brawl between Midas and this young band of freedom fighters. But Midas has been holding a superhuman hostage as a power source. Plus, the dark history of what used to be the United States on Earth 6160. That seems like we're going to get a bit of an oversized deal, maybe? And I'd like to see the dark history of what used to be the United States on Earth 6160. Because any sort of world expanding stuff in the Ultimate Universe, I am for, I am down with, and it really is needed. We're having some of the books say a Black Panther, some say the X-Men deal. They're not really moving forward. They're not really expanding things. So let's see what that is all about. I'm looking forward to that. The next one is a number one. And, it might be the big number one. There's a big book coming out from Marvel. I think that most people realize that I am talking about Kid Venom number one, written and art by Tagami. It is $4.99. Gesundheit. Embrace your inner Venom. Japan 977. Kid Venom has made his presence known to the evil symbiotes, taking people and creatures hostage. But who else has their eye on Kintaro and his symbiote? The world of Kid Venom expands as new characters and dangers are revealed. Breakout manga creator Tagami continues his vision of Kid Venom in this brand new series. I really liked the prelude. I thought it was really, really well done. Of course, it has a manga feel, but, pretty cool. And again, when people talk about the idea that Peach Momoko's Ultimate X-Men has like a manga feel, that's a little more like stylistic and whatever. I really thought that the Kid Venom did it really, really well, and I'm looking forward to this number one. So the last book, what could be the last book that I'm looking forward to on the old Marvel docket? It is X-Men number one, written again by Jed MacKay, art by Ryan Stegman, who I think is fantastic. It is $5.99 because Marvel's greedy, but here we go. Krakoa is gone. Orcus has fallen. I was really afraid it was Krakoa is dead, long live Krakoa. It kind of seems from some of those books, right? Orcus has fallen, but the X-Men remain always. Cyclops leads because that's what he does. Beast builds because that's what he does. And from their new home in Alaska, the X-Men raise a flag of defiance because they don't say it there. I wanted them to say it. Mutant business is their business. Is business good? Isn't that back in the day Megadeth album, I thought? Join Cyclops, Beast, Magneto, Psylocke, Kid Omega, Temper, Magic, and Juggernaut as new forces in the world move into position, battling for the destiny and philosophy of the mutant species. This is the big issue of the week, obviously, and I hope it's good. I hope that Jed MacKay doesn't have a nonsense villain team called the illustrious Cavern. I'm just making stuff up. You could have one of those things. I see them all the time where, okay, you pick a color and the first letter of your, date you were born. Here we go. And you get one of his teams, the Blood Coven, right? Nonsense. But we'll see. We'll see how he does that. I have my fingers crossed and hope it is really good. I am not a huge X-Men fan, but I want to be. And I also think that X-Men fans deserve some really good books. So I hope that hits. But that's it for Marvel. We're going to move over to the indie side of things. Start with a surprise for me. It has been on my most anticipated list, I think, every issue, definitely after issue number one. But it's Dawn Runner number 4, written by Ram V, art by Evan Cagle, $4.99. If you kind of know me, or if you know the channel, if you've heard some of our podcasts, especially the DC one, you'll know that I'm not a traditional Ram V fan. I'm not a big fan of his Detective Comics run. Some people are. That's fine. They can be. I have my deal. But I really like Dawn Runner. I really like his Layla Starr book. I'm telling you, I think that I really like the indie Ram V. Once he goes and does like what he did with Venom, didn't like it. The idea some people love this Swamp Thing. Not for me. Detective Comics, boring. But I really like this book a lot. A new kind of Tetsa has arrived and promises to push Anita Marr and Dawn Runner to their limits. Is Dawn Runner doomed, or will dramatic revelation strengthen the bond between Anita and Dawn Runner? They're saying Dawn Runner way too much, pushing them to evolve into something new. Ram V and Evan Cagle deliver a giant mech versus monster story unlike any before it. Kind of feels a lot like some things before it, but it feels in the good way. It feels pretty cool in the good way, right, Pacific Rim? Kill All Immortals #1. This is something that I didn't even know about. I ended up getting review copies. I'm going through. I'm like, what is this? And if you have review copies ever, because fancy things like that, they send them to you and they never quite spell out the actual title for the book. You go into the file, you unzip the stuff, you go in and it's like KLLMOR. And you're like, what the hell is Leomore? I'm like, that sounds like some King Arthur stuff or something. And then you go, oh, it's Kill All Immortals. It drives me nuts, but this is a #1, and it looked pretty cool. I did not read all of it. I just paged through. It looked pretty neat. Written by Zach Kaplan, art by Fico Ocio, and it's $3.99. It says, Succession meets John Wick with Immortal Vikings. And I was actually told by a very big comic book writer. His initials are like SS. Like, we'll call him Scott S. No, we'll say S. Snyder. Is what we'll do. He once told me that you never do a solicit that has a something meets something, because right away they're thinking of something else, and right away it's not original. Then you're saying it's that. I know why they do it. I know it's the elevator pitch type deal, but Scott Snyder told me that was one of his little nuggets. He told me, and then he ditched me. He doesn't talk to me in a while. But yes, Succession meets John Wick with Immortal Vikings. 1,000 years ago, Viking explorer Eric the Red and his 4 adult children discovered a mysterious source of immortality. And if you're not aware of history, Eric the Red is actually pronounced Eric the Red. Now, in our modern world, they are an enigmatic billionaire family with a powerful banking empire. But when Eric's only daughter, Frey Asvald, seeks to finally be free from her family's influence, and probably want a new name, must be prepared to reveal their supernatural secrets and confront her well-trained siblings in a deadly and epic struggle for power. Get ready for a bloodthirsty immortal fight like no other. Get it? Succession meets John Wick. Somebody's dog is in big, big trouble. That's all I know. But the next one is something I think is really, really cool. Now I say that. Just sit down when I say it. It's $12, this book. So this is, a massive amount of money for a book. But it's a big book, and it's really, really neat. Again, fancy. I got the review copy and paged through this, and it looks really, really cool. It is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 40th Anniversary Special #1. It is from IDW. I didn't say earlier, but Kill Your All Immortals is from Dark Horse as well as Dawn Runner. But this is an IDW deal, and it's an anniversary book in a true sense where you're having a lot of past creators, a lot of big people coming back and writing stories in the time frame that they wrote in. These are original stories, say, in the Mirage deal or, the IDW, all that stuff. And it's in that style. It's pretty cool. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles turned 40. I remember those days. Revisit some of their greatest eras with stories told by some of the many creators of the page and screen who made each iteration of the Turtles so special. And again, like I said, when you go back and have all these time, it reminds me of the stuff that they're mainly doing at Marvel, where you have right now, last week, Wolverine Deep Cut, where you have Chris Claremont going, now I'm going to tell this story from back in the day. That it's like that, but it is an anniversary. I think it's really, really cool. This all-new anthology takes a look all the way back to the start, celebrating that initial spark of creativity from Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. I hope that in the back they have like an interview where they argue with each other, and then works its way through the next 4 decades, highlighting fan-favorite touchstones from comic books and beyond. Eastman leads a host of incredible talent who are contributing new stories and pinups from a gaggle of legendary TMNT contributors. There are so many to list there that I just, you can go check it out. It's pretty cool. It's also $12, which you could choke a horse with. The next one is Transformers #10. Written by Daniel Warren Johnson, art by Jorge Corona, is doing a banger job. Cover price is $3.99. This is a very, very long solicit, so sit down, relax as I take you through this. Shockwave's plan revealed. Can the Autobots recover from their latest loss in time to save everyone? That's it. And at what cost, possibly? But yeah, I like the Transformers. I ended up talking in the last issue on a review, telling people that I don't like it as much, I think, as some people. And I wasn't saying that the book was bad. I was saying that a lot of the things that are getting people all riled up and all excited are these kind of big wow moment reveals A lot of time it's at the end of the issue. And a lot of times I have to be like, who is that? And I have to look. So it's not hitting as much because I don't have that background. I don't have, this lifetime deal with the Transformers. But as I'm reading it, I am really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. And people just misunderstood what I'm saying is I think that people who are into the franchise and know more than me are probably way more into it because those WoW deals are going to be WoW deals, not, oh, wow, I got to go look something up again. I got to go see who, Speechcomber is. Oh, my goodness. Geiger, number 4, is the last book on the list. Of course, it's Ghost Machine that is released, distributed by Image Comics. So it was Transformers. This is, again, like I said, the Jeff Johns Ghost Machine stuff. Geiger number 4 is written by Jeff Johns. Art by Gary Frank, $3.99. Worth every damn penny. I say that every time we end up having a Ghost Machine book on this. The clock ticks down for Tariq Geiger. The scheming electrician kidnapped Geiger's best friend. Oh no, it's Barney. The problem, standing between Geiger and the electrician, is the largest horde of deformed mutant organ people he's ever encountered. The solution? Launch a desperate assault through them. Hoping the masses don't completely overwhelm him, can the nuclear nomad get through them in time? So we're going to have to see. I'm guessing he will. That's just a guess from me, but I think he might make it, and I'm going to have fun watching it. Better say, Barney, there's no way you need that two-headed dog anything but hugged and kissed. You need to save him right now. So with all that, though, those are my most anticipated books for the week. I said a lot of really, really good books and books that we can kind of count on being good coming out this week, and then a couple new number ones and things. Of course, the X-Men, one of the bigger ones, fingers crossed once again. So let me know in the comments what you are looking forward to, what you think is going to be cool, and then we'll discuss it there. But thanks, everybody. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And also just let me plug one last thing. If you like comic book podcasts, shows, videos, all of that sort of thing, please go to the show notes and click on our link to our Patreon account. It's patreon.com/weird science. See, I flubbed it. But there we have a ton of shows, DC, Marvel, indie, manga, all these things all rolled up into one. And if you go now, you can go and get a 7-day free trial so you can check everything out before you put any money down. So please check that out. It helps us out a lot. And I thank you all. Talk to you in the comments later.